Alright you guys, this is going to be a quick video on how to replace a battery on your Sigma S107. I believe these 3-channel helicopters are in right now, so a lot of guys own these guys, and they do not have a proper protecting let's say system regarding the batteries. So you guys drain them out maybe too much, and the LiPo cell over there goes astray. So this is going to be how to replace that battery. Here's the replacement battery that I ordered. Now this one is a little bit, has more, it's let's say bigger than the one that comes originally on this one. This is 240 milliamps. I'm still not sure of how much is the original one. We're going to check. So first of all, start removing these screws over here, this small screw over here and the other one on the other side. Do not pull this too hard, because there's an LED over here that you need to be careful with. So there's a couple of cables that go over there into the canopy, so you need to be careful taking the canopy out. Just remove it like this into its side. Now let's take the battery out. It's glued with double-sided tape. It came out. This one, well, it doesn't say. I don't really know how much is it. So this assembly, it's going to be required to do this. You need to take out the PCB board in there in order to take this out and unsolder it and solder the new one over here. So let's do that. So take these screws out. It's useful to have a small box and where to keep your screws, because otherwise they will go into that black hole, that screw black hole that you guys have, that we all have back home, and they will be lost forever. And especially these ones, that they are tiny screws. So these ones are done. It's probably good to remove the landing gear. So we go ahead and take those out too. So this way it's going to be easy to work with. Or easier to work with. So landing gear comes out this easily. It's out. Now one side of it, it's almost done. Let's unscrew these ones as well. So this side should come off like this. There you go. One side of it, it's off. Now you almost have access to it, but the cables, these wires that come from the battery, are beneath the PCB board, so you really need to take it out. So let's go to the other side. Okay, this is the stabilizer rod. Should keep it aside. Now the other one, same process. Just take the other one aside. Now you only need, on this one, you only need to remove the bottom ones, the bottom screws over here, and the PCB board should be, there you go, freed. Now it's loose. Okay, now you need to see on the other side of the PCB board, so remove these screws also. There's a couple of screws in here. Now be careful at this stage, because the battery is it's on, it's connected. So you need to be careful not to screw around with your screwdriver and possibly short something out. So be very careful with this at this stage. So remove the bottom plate and that screw out. There you go. Now we have access to the wires on our battery. A lot of wires over here, but this isn't too hard. So the battery wires are the two on each side, the top ones on this end, and on this end, this is negative and positive. Make sure you memorize that because you don't want to switch polarities. Now, what I should have done already is heat my soldering iron. I didn't do it. I'm going to connect it and just let it heat, build up some heat, and we'll be back when it's heated. We'll be back and we're going to finish it. Okay? See you in a bit. So now the soldering iron is hot enough. Now here's a quick tip on these kinds of procedures. You know that LiPo batteries are very touchy when regarding short circuits. So when shipped, usually these kinds of batteries, they come protected like here, and it's insulated. The negative wire, it's insulated against, you know, any short circuit during transportation or whatever. So you need to be very careful with this because they don't really like short circuiting. If you do, it's bye-bye cell, and this is on a one cell battery. It's dead if you short circuit it. So good thing to do is do it like this. You only remove this, the negative insulation, when you already have the positive wire connected in. So let's take the old battery out. Now be careful not to burn yourself up or, you know, remove unwanted wires. And if you do so, just memorize them and pay attention to what you're unsoldering. So we know that this top end one is the positive, and this now is the negative one. This could be kind of tricky, but now it's imperative that you have a hot soldering wire iron. Why? Because you don't, on these kinds of procedures, you don't want to apply too much heat to the wires in the PCB, or you could otherwise burn it, and you don't want that. Now a good thing is to apply a little bit of solder. Now keep in mind that this is some small soldering points, so you don't want too much solder, just a little bit, in order to have that little blob over there that I just put in. Okay? And now let's go. It's a good idea also to tin your wire, so let's put a little bit of solder on the wire, because as soon as you apply some heat with this solder in that one, it should melt and you have an immediate connection. So let's see if I can show you that. So there you go. Very gently. There you go. This is it. It should take 1 second or so to solder that. Just apply a little bit of heat and there you go. Nice, good connection. So one part is done. Now at this point you can remove the insulation on the negative wire. Even though you do that, be careful not to touch it with any other part of the helicopter, or otherwise you could damage it. So let's tin this one. Just apply a little bit of solder to the wire. Just keep your soldering iron very clean when you do this. Okay, it's perfect. and a little bit on the PCB point. And now same thing, just a little bit of heat. Be very careful with it. And there you go. That's all there is to it. Okay, there you go, nice connection. Now you can test this by turning it on, and there you go, LED's on. So it's connected. There it is. Nothing to it. Now all you need to do is put everything back together, and I'm going to try and do that very quickly. So there you go, canopy in place. All that remains is to find that screw that popped off and went nowhere, and put the landing gear on, and there you go, all done. Easy peasy. Okay guys, thanks a lot for watching, and hope this was helpful for a lot of you guys. Bye bye.